I heard a message, and it was in the sound of my mother's voice. And she said to me, Dee, you know who you are. You know what you're supposed to do. And every day that you do not listen, that you do not respond to your calling, is a day that there is somebody out there who is in need of what you bring, your individual talents, skills, whatever it is you have to offer to the world. Every day you ignore that calling is a day you're not answering that person and what they need from you.
Amos Madra.
Dee Menges, a very warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you, Amos. It is such a privilege to be invited on your show and to speak to your listeners. I'm really excited about this.
Thank you. I want to start off by reading a quote from yourself. And it says, "My own personal journey around the world in life and as a mother has led me to devote my life to development of the feminine mystique." Tell us about that.
So what drove me, or what led me to my mission, was all of the experience that I've had in my life. One of the biggest ones was the loss of my mother in the beginning of 2020. And that loss just pushed me into a deep, dark space. And I had a big fight with God. And I said, how could you do this to me? I don't want to know you anymore. And things just got worse and worse for me until one night I had a panic attack, and I woke up at about 3 o'clock in the morning, went to the bathroom, splashed my face, and couldn't breathe. So there I was, struggling for breath, sitting on this cold surface in the bathroom. And at that moment, I heard a message, and it was in the sound of my mother's voice. And she said to me, Dee, you know who you are. You know what you're supposed to do. And every day that you do not listen, that you do not respond to your calling, is a day that there is somebody out there who is in need of what you bring, your individual talents, skills, whatever it is you have to offer to the world. Every day you ignore that calling is a day you're not answering that person and what they need from you. And that was the day that I realized my mission. And it was in honoring my mother and in being a mother that I realized that my mission was to first discover, reconnect to my inner power. And then once I had done that, I could then teach and guide, specifically women, but there are many men who come to me as well. And I'm always honored when they choose me, is to help them reconnect, rediscover their own true inner power, and then to set that free in the world. We all have our own unique gifts. We all have our individuality. And the thing is, when we come into this world, it is our purpose to find that and then to bring it out, set it forth into the world. But we tend to forget that. We let doubt, we let insecurity, we let worry and anxiety into our lives. We entertain that. Shakespeare said that our doubts are our traitors. And so we must identify what those traitors are, what they are here to teach us. Those lessons help us to unleash and set free our inner powers. And we have so many inner powers: love, compassion, acts of benevolence, and just experiencing oneness. And to realize that we are all a collective consciousness. So we have to overcome that separation and experience that true oneness. Then we get to express our own true inner power. And here's the thing, is that a lot of people think that power is having power over others, but it is not. It is having power within ourselves, over ourselves, recognizing the shadow, going into the shadow, and then shining a light onto it so that we can unleash and set free that inner light. We are all light beings. Now, we tend to think that we are humans and that we get to have a spiritual experience, but we are actually spiritual beings having a human experience, and we have to find that spirituality within us. And that's when everything starts to fall in place. The jigsaw puzzles start to make sense. We start to see the bigger picture, and then we know how to put together these pieces so that we can discover the true meaning of ourselves. Søren Kierkegaard said, I must find a truth which is true for me. And that doesn't mean that we go creating our own truths, we don't go and, tell a white lie or a fib or whatever. It means expressing what is the truth for what we understand the truth to be. And
Yeah.
that is by embracing that love, that oneness, that spirituality, that deep-seated connection to a higher power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. MentorMorphis was born in the midst of that darkness, in
Yes.
grief, and
Mm-hmm.
searching for answers.
Yes.
Seek and you shall find, and indeed you found. How do you feel now in terms of your processing grief? And of course, you touched there on we are spirit beings having a physical experience. Does that comfort you? Does that help you? How have you dealt with the loss of your mother since then?
Um, it's actually one of the programs that I teach, Standing Firm When Your World is Shaking. And it was the grief that brought on going into that spiritual experience. And the minute that I did so, the minute that I listened to my mother's voice guiding me from beyond, I was able to find other mentors. I found Mary Morrissey, who actually, she taught me the coaching and she taught me all of these programs. And now through the Brave Thinking Institute, I'm certified to teach these programs. And she's incidentally known as the godmother of personal development. So there was, this theme running through like a golden thread, of motherhood, of being motherly, of being nurturing. And in that, I was able to process my grief. And in this program that I teach, Standing Firm When Your World is Shaking, one of the things that we learn is that when you go through the dark soul of the night, that is there to teach you a specific lesson. And so there were many, many lessons that I had to learn throughout all of this. But one of the things is to find the good in the bad, to find the light in the dark. That's how we become luminous beings. And so even though it was a gut-wrenching process, and even though it sent me spiraling, because there were a lot of circumstances that surrounded that, I am so grateful for having that experience because it helped me to shine a light on a lot of truths that I had throughout my life been avoiding. And so here's the experience of life. We as human beings want to stay put. We want to remain in our comfort zone. We want to remain in that which we know and feel comfortable in. But life wants us to move forward. In the Talmud, it says it's as though there's an angel whispering over this blade of grass that will push through concrete, seeking the light. And this angel will whisper, grow, grow, grow. And so I had been given the signals all through my life, but my listening to those immutable laws, it was sort of turned off, it was dimmed, that volume was quite low. And so in this process of grief and processing all of the feelings of loss and angst and, just wondering why is this happening to me? I was able to understand that it wasn't happening to me, it was happening for me. Because even though I wanted to stay put, life was saying to me, it's time to move forward. It's time for you to grow and develop. And in that, I discovered my mission that I wanted to bring an ending to human suffering. And when I answered that call, all of the answers then came to me. The minute I said to God, I'm so sorry. I turned my back on you. Let's make peace. And now we are so connected. We have such a beautiful bond. When I started my business, it was scary. I knew I was going to have to do things I'd never done before. I knew I was going to have to go down dark avenues where, there was no light, and that I was going to have to shine a light on that. And I knew that I was going to need help from a higher power. And so I turned to God and I said, God, I'm answering this calling. Please speak to me and please speak through me. And so now, I still go through phases of preparation, but whenever somebody asks me to speak, I don't have to start, where am I going to get all of the information? I have to do research. No, I go within, I set an intention. I say, dear God, I want to inspire. I want to, give a message that's going to relate to somebody, speak through me. And then I just allow it to come from him, from her, because I truly believe that God is the embodiment of both men and women and woman.
Yeah.
And so when I did this, everything came to me. The name of my business, the motto of my business, the mission of my business. God told me what my logo should be. She said to me, here, it's going to be a butterfly. And then I said, why is it going to be a butterfly? And she said, because the butterfly is the symbol of metamorphosis, which is what you are going through. You go through this, and then I'm going to show you how to teach it to others. It's about going within, wrapping that cocoon around yourself, breaking through the chrysalis, and emerging a beautiful butterfly. And I said, okay, but what is the significance about the butterfly? And she said, the butterfly is about spreading your wings and learning to fly. It's about embracing your own unique individual color, shape of your wings, the pattern on your wings. And I said, oh, okay, wow, this is amazing. She said, you get to shine your color, but you have to shine. And so, whenever we shine, it can be scary to others. Whenever we do things differently, it can be intimidating to others. And sometimes we'll experience resistance. Who was it? It was Carl Jung who said that what we resist will persist. And so all the things that were hurting me, all the things that were causing me contraction and angst, these were the things that I needed to embrace and say, why? Why are you here? Why are you showing up in my life? What is it that you want to teach me? And every time I ended the resistance and embraced that thing, it has set me free. It has liberated me, because there's that old saying, the truth, it's going to liberate you, but first it's going to piss you off. And so, yes, I went through many phases of anger and raging, and it's part of the metamorphosis process. It's part of that, because we have to embrace, why are we angry? What is that anger here to teach us? It's those things that we want to run away from that are our best and most sacred teachers.
Yeah. And I think it's also interesting that, you said that life doesn't happen to you, but it happens for you. And I think that's always reassuring. And of course, answering to your calling, which is really important as well. But ultimately, I think, one key thing that you said was the environment, when you cocoon yourself and put yourself in an environment that's conducive to growth, that allows you to come out and flourish as this butterfly, that you're able to go out and do incredible things. Talk to us about mentoring and also having the right environment. How important is that, and what has that meant for you?
Well, when you start to answer the calling of your soul, you will find that all of your mentors will show up. And it's a magical process. It's not something that you have to do to control those circumstances, but it's just answering to the calling of your soul. And how I did that was I said to myself, okay, what is my purpose? What is my why? And I kept asking that question and kept re-answering it and repurposing that question until I came up with, it is to end human suffering and to allow us to experience true liberation so that we can become luminous beings, to lead the way to luminosity. And it was when I answered it finally that I just started to weep. And that was when I knew that that was my true purpose. And when I did that, people just magically started showing up into my life.
When people the student is ready, the teacher
exactly, the teacher will show up. Exactly. We are like-minded beings. I love that. And you see, it's no accident that you came into my life. It's no accident that, a wonderful woman that we have in common, Tanya, that she came into my life. She came into my life at a moment where I was struggling, I was scared. And, she gave me a lot of powerful tools to help me believe in myself again. And she kept saying, come on now, let's go. And, there was this one time when it was early January, beginning of this year. So many things had gone wrong in the business. And when that happens, it's not a bad thing. Those things are there to teach you. It's there to grow you so that you're ready for the next level. I had to go through all of these things so that I could teach and mentor somebody going through those things. Somebody said to me, oh, but Dee, you're such a screw up in life. How can you be a coach? And one of the things I had to learn was accountability. And I said to this person, you know what? You're right. I am a screw up. But that makes me uniquely gifted to be able to help people who feel that they are screw ups, or who feel that they have screwed up. that there's no judgment, that these things are here to teach us something. It's, we can either switch that off and keep repeating that process like a vicious cycle, constantly on that hamster wheel, just going and going and getting exhausted and getting nowhere. Or we can embrace that truth and say, okay, I am a screw up. That's wonderful, because all of these things have taught me. And it's because of that adversity that I've gone through that I am now more empowered, that I'm more free, and that I'm, that I have more wisdom. And so I was going through all of these challenges and upheavals. And there were times when I felt like I just wanted to give up. And I was supposed to have a business partner, and the business partner was going to teach me all of the stuff that I didn't know, because, all I wanted to do was coach. And I didn't know about setting up a business, especially in a foreign country, because I am, my native country is South Africa, but I live in Germany. And so I had to learn all of these things in a fourth language. And it was scary. And then my business partner, who was supposed to teach me all of the tech stuff, pulled out at the last minute and said, I'm sorry, I am above my capacity to go into this business with you. And so I felt alone. I felt scared. And then all of that feeling of being left alone, feeling of being let down when I really needed somebody, all of that just washed over me. And again, I had to get quiet and go within myself. And I said, God, what is happening here? I'm scared. I feel like I want to just give up. And I heard God saying to me, why are you feeling scared? Why are you feeling alone? I am here. You are not alone. We are in this together. We are one. Don't you realize you're crying over a business partner, but don't you realize I am your business partner? And when I came out of that, I said, yes, I have God as my business partner. That's the best business partner to have. And so through each and every step, I have never, ever felt alone. And when, a difficult situation comes up for me, instead of being, pushed down or going into depression or feelings like, like low vibrational energies, now I say, yes, this thing is happening. It's a bad thing. It feels icky. It feels uncomfortable right now, but this is here to serve me. This is going to make me better. This is going to be the opportunity to teach me, so that when somebody comes to me with that situation, I'm prepared. I'm prepared to guide them in a way that's going to be right for them. And so I accept everything that comes to me now. It's part of that surrender. It's not wanting to control the aspects that come at you, but just saying, okay, I surrender. I'm opening up my arms to this. I'm embracing this, and then seeing what comes from it. And when you do that, it takes a lot less input. It takes a lot less energy. It's less exhausting. It's actually freeing. It's empowering, and it's energizing. We don't get to control the how, but we can be very specific about the what. What is it that I want for my life? What do I want to create? What impact do I want to have? What legacy do I want to leave behind? And then we get flexible on the how, because the how will show up in unexpected, in surprising ways, and in ways that you think, wow, this is actually better for me.
Incredible. I love how you've taken us through those steps, and it's a journey, from the unknown to taking a chance, to the setbacks, to people leaving you and feeling left alone, to finding yourself again in that darkness. And it seems that each time things tend to go really wrong and really bad, again, it's that metamorphosis, isn't it? It's where you flourish. And again, when I look back at, from the interview we've had so far, each time you've gone through a dark phase, something glorious has come from it.
Absolutely.
And I think ultimately as well, it's understanding the laws and how the laws of this universe work, and applying them, and being grateful, giving thanks in all things. Talk to us about the laws. What are they? What do they mean? Apart from the physical laws that we know of gravity, talk to us about some of the other laws. The spiritual.
I'm so glad that you asked that question. It is a beautiful, brilliant question. It speaks to your beauty and your brilliance, Amos. It's so funny because I had a conversation with a close friend of mine on Saturday, and we were talking about the laws of man, and we talk about the sacred, immutable laws of the universe. And there are 12 of them. I teach a course on those as well. And when we start to respect the laws of the universe and realize that they transcend, they supersede, and they exceed the laws of man, any circumstance that comes at us doesn't have any power over us. That's what I mean by that inner power, because we embrace those sacred laws of the universe. And there are 12 of them. There's the law of thinking, there's the law of non-resistance, there's the law of sacrifice, the law of circulation, the law of I have to think about them now. Just not able to rattle them all at once. But yes, there's the law of sacrifice, the law of obedience, the law of success. There is the law of increase. I love the law of increase, because the law of increase says that what you praise will grow. So when you praise yourself, you grow. When you praise your child, she grows in confidence. When you praise God, God comes and works through you. You become a conduit. Everything. You praise your experience. When I have issues with my bank, I phone them up and I say, hey, you know what? I'm having this issue. But before we discuss the issue, I just want to tell you how awesome I think you guys are. You always answer the phone so quickly. You're always wonderful and so friendly. And I love it. You guys are the most wonderful bank for me. And then boom, my problem goes away on its own. So it's like, praise that thing that is hurting you. It's there to teach you a lesson. It is a sacred teacher. So I love the law of increase. The most obvious law, the law of attraction. There's the law of receiving. And while we are having this human experience, we have so much, we experience so much contraction from the law of receiving. Somebody gives us a compliment, we tend to shy away from it. Somebody says, oh, you look wonderful today. And you go, oh, that old thing? That's not being open to receiving. Whereas if you say, wow, that's a wonderful compliment. Thank you for noticing, this is one of my favorite outfits, or whatever the case may be. Somebody gives you a gift. Don't say, oh, no, that wasn't necessary. Say, wow, that's really thoughtful of you. Thank you. And then you in return, you go and you give somebody else a gift. And it can be anything. It can be of your time, your energy, your talent, and yes, even your money. And that brings us to the law of circulation. Also one of my favorite laws, because that law says that the very thing that you are seeking is the thing that you should be giving. So if you are experiencing stuckness, go out, spend time in nature. Be happy for the trees, be happy for the birds. They are the absolute symbol of freedom. If you are having issues with money, the little bit of money that you have, give some of it to somebody else who's in more need. And then you welcome that abundance into, the reason why we experience stuckness is because we tend to keep things for ourselves. So it's like a swamp. A swamp has no circulation. And where there is no circulation, there is no sign of life. So a swamp will just suck everything into it. And that's why we experience a void. So we must bring about circulation by giving that one thing that we want to experience the most. You want love? You want to experience having that perfect partner? Then give love in every single way. Give love even to a stranger, and then you'll see that love will come your way. I love the sacred laws of the universe. They definitely supersede man's laws.
Absolutely brilliant. And you've put it beautifully, and I don't think it could have been said any better. These laws are certainly, something that, we ought to live by. And the good book says, no longer shall you need to teach them the laws. I shall write them on their hearts. So you can look within. You don't need to, we do all need guidance. We all need support. But if you really look within, you will find those laws within yourself, and you'll understand those laws. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Is there anything you wanted to add to that? I feel like you wanted to put
one of the other things that I love that has been my greatest teacher is intuition. And it speaks exactly to what you were saying. It's going within. And for us to experience that true intuition, to listen to that voice, because it's a voice that doesn't have volume. It's a voice that cannot be heard by anybody else except for you. And we tend to listen to the wrong voices. We listen to the monkey mind or the lizard brain or whatever it is you want to call it. But when you listen to your intuition, that small, still inner voice within, that is your best teacher. That is your best guide. It is your best compass, and it will always point you to your true north. And an example of that was also when I was experiencing difficulty. I went into this mission because I wanted to honor my mother and her life's work. She was a nurse and a healer and a teacher and a mentor to so many others, and she dedicated all of her free time to just improving and learning so that she could teach to other people and help to end their suffering. And so I wanted to walk in my mother's footsteps. And one day I just felt so overwhelmed by it, and I sat down and I got really quiet, and I shed a few tears, and I said, Mom, I can't do this. Your shoes are so big. How am I ever going to fill your shoes? And again, I heard her voice, and she was laughing, and she said, who told you to fill my shoes? Last time I checked, your feet were pretty big. Fill your own shoes. You've got this. And so your intuition has a weird sense of humor, but she will always, always point you in the right direction. And so that's my message is go within, listen to that small, still inner voice, and you will be guided. And for all of us to know that we are loved, we are love, we are protected, we are directed, we are guided. And sometimes we'll have, pitfalls or roadblocks or dead ends or whatever the case may be, cul-de-sacs. And when we experience that, we just have to know that, hey, it's just an opportunity. It's a detour. And I firmly believe that that is a redirection. Redirection is God's protection. And so we have to trust that. We have to absolutely just trust and have a believing that is so big that we believe that the answer will come to us, even if it comes 1 minute to the deadline, that we believe that the answer will come to us, that the solution is there for us, that we do not entertain doubt, fear, anger, frustration. It's like opening up your door after somebody's knocked on the door, and your biggest adversity, your biggest nemesis, your adversary, that person is standing out there by the door asking to be let in. Do you let him in, knowing that his sole mission is to sabotage you and break you down until there's nothing left? Do you let him in? Do you entertain him? Make a meal for him? Make up the bed for him while you sleep on the couch? Do you give him a foot rub? No, you close the door and you say, I'm sorry, doubt, fear, anger, frustration. I cannot entertain you today. I am on my mission. I am. And what we put at the end of I am, we get to decide that. That's why I always do Friday affirmations. And that's something that you can do any day and every day. It's because we have a spiritual and a universal name. We are all connected by this name. We all carry the same name. That is the name of I am. So what we put after that name, what we lay at the altar of I am, we get to decide. So we can either say, I am limited, or we can say, I am limitless. We can either say, I am powerless, or we can say, I am powerful. We get to decide. That's the beautiful thing. We all get to write our own book. We get to write our own story. We cannot control what has come at us, but we can control how we are going to respond to what comes at us. We cannot control what has happened in the past, but we can control what happens now and what happens in the future. And there's, we understand different things by control. We think that to have control is to have control over others. There's a shadow side to control, where you want to manipulate others so that you can control the situation. Whereas you can control something by saying, okay, I'm going to control how I react to that situation. Am I going to react with vengeance, retaliation, anger, hurt? Those are all contractive energies. Or am I going to react to the situation as the divine embodiment, as love, as who I truly am? We get to decide that.
Absolutely. I love that. I am ... And Jim Rohn said, every day stand guard at the gate of your mind. I love it. And again, going back to, Moses, when Moses died, God told Joshua and the Israelites, they mourn him quickly, but get up, move forward, go into the promised land. going to the land that I've promised you. And, going to the first part of your statement there, we have to mourn those we've lost, but we have to keep moving, because each day we don't know how long we've got left in the sand of our hourglass, our lives. So we've got to keep moving and not live life as though we've got a spare one. So absolutely beautiful. Could you tell us what you enjoy doing the most in all this? You have a passion for this. Do you feel like, this is you found your true calling, and this is where you're going to stamp your flag and stay there?
Yes. When I was growing up, this is a funny story. When I was growing up, our teachers would ask us, what is it that you want to do in life? And some of the children would say, I want to be a movie star. And somebody else said, oh, I want to be a doctor. And I remember always, picturing them as adults, thinking, oh, wow, they'll be living their dreams and they'll be happy and they'll feel fulfilled. And then the teacher would burst that bubble when she would say, yeah, but then you're going to have to work really, really hard. You're going to have to sacrifice blood, sweat, and tears. No girls, no fun, no nothing. And I remember thinking, oh, good Lord, that sounds awful. It's that program that's been, indoctrinated into us, that we have to enter into this repetitive cycle of eat, work, sleep, repeat. And that sounded just terrible to me. And so when it was my turn and she asked me, what is it that you want to do? I said, oh, I want to be retired. And she thought I was clowning her on, so she got annoyed with me, but I was being really, really serious, because I knew that I didn't want to have to work, eat, sleep, repeat all the time, feeling exhaustion. What I wanted to do was experience elation and love and adventure and all of these wonderful, expansive things. And so I thought it was retirement. But then I found my true calling, which is doing this. And there's so many aspects to coaching. It's the consumption of content, it's the creation of content, and then it's the teaching, it's the coaching, it's getting people to believe in themselves, it's seeing the things, the wonderful and the beautiful things about themselves that they can't see yet. It's about having magical conversations. It's about letting them open and blossom and bloom and then go off, and then they go and they teach what they've learned through their experience, and then there's that ripple effect. It's about being the conduit for a higher power's work. And I love each and every aspect of it, even the things at the beginning that were difficult and daunting and caused me so much distress. I decided that for a while I was going to be a one-woman show, because I needed to learn all of those things. So the things that scared me, like the legal aspects and some of the business aspects that I didn't yet understand, and a lot of the tech stuff that I didn't yet understand because I had never done it before. All of those things now I enjoy, I love it. And because I'm always doing something that I love, each and every minute is filled with a little bit of fear, but a good kind of fear. It's having the fear without letting that fear have you. So it's a little bit of fear. It's a little bit of, ooh, what's going to happen next? But we have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. We have to be comfortable with the unknown and never knowing what's going to come our way. And going into this, so many beautiful experiences have come my way. So much enlightenment, even when I have an argument with somebody. Last Sunday, I had an argument with my life partner, who I absolutely love and adore. He's one of the most wonderful men I've ever met, and I'm so privileged to be his partner. And we had a bit of I wouldn't say an argument, but it was a little bit of a difference of opinion. And when that happened, I said, stop. Why is this here? What is this to teach me? And I said, okay, let's take a bit of a time out. And 15 minutes later, he came back and he said, I would love to understand you. Tell me what's going on with you. And we had the most wonderful conversation. It wasn't about, you did this and you made me feel like that. It was going in and saying, why was this thing bothering me? And in it came so much revelation that I understood that, oh, this was a contraction that I had experienced as a child and I hadn't dealt with it. And that instance was sent to me so that I could deal with it, so that I could heal it. And it allowed me to be more free, because we had one of the most beautiful conversations we've ever had. And what it actually did was it cemented our bond. It united us in a way that transcends love. or the definition of love. It was just a wonderful, beautiful experience. And now we are even more of a unit. And I'm so, so grateful for that. And that's what I say. It's like we have to experience the gratitude, even in the sticky, icky situations that we don't want to experience, because there's another saying, and I'm trying to remember it. Give me a second. I'm gonna get to it. Again, Kierkegaard said that life can only be understood backwards, but we must move forward. And then there is another, I think it was Rumi, who said, your task is not to seek for love, but to seek and find the barriers within yourself that you have built against that love. Oh, I tell you, that is such a beautiful experience. That's what I got to experience on Sunday, is going within, finding out what is that barrier, and then love just comes in and fills you.
Incredible. And again, it goes back to that theme where in what was supposedly a bad time, a setback, but you went within and found the love, the beauty in that situation. And here we are again today. And that same theme continues. It continues and continues. So tell us, how can we connect with you? Because there's so many people watching, listening to this, and want to know, how can I get hold of Dee? What's the best way?
I would love that if somebody felt that they wanted to get in touch with me, because every interaction with another human being is one of the greatest blessings. And so I would absolutely love that. It is part of what I wanted to offer. I want to offer your viewers, when they are ready, when they feel called to get in touch with me for a free discovery call. It's about 45 minutes to an hour. And we get to see, where they are now, where they would like to be, notice the gap, and then we can discuss, if they want to take those steps to fill that gap, bridge that gap, and go over to the next level. It is my purpose in life. It is my calling in life. And I offer this to give back, because that's one of the things, is gratitude. We must experience gratitude in new forms. And so I always say, it's not my alarm clock that woke me up this morning. It is God who woke me up this morning. And when you experience gratitude on that level, it is so gratifying. It is beautiful. It's delicious. It's juicy living. And I would love for everybody to experience that juicy living. And so you can reach me on www.mentormorphis.com. I can send you the link so that maybe you can put it in your feed, because I spell it a little bit differently. And I can send a link where you can go to all of my things. You can go to my podcast show that I do with 3 other wonderful women. You can check out my website. You can book that free discovery call with me. It's all there so that it's accessible for you at the click of one button. Life can be difficult. It can have its challenges, but we can make those experiences expansive, and we can make it easier.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Dee. It's been an absolute joy to sit and talk with you and to hear your experiences and for you to share your wisdom with us. There's so much that I've learned personally myself here today, and of course our audience as well will feel the same, I'm sure. Thank you so much, and I cannot wait to get you back on, because we need to get you back on again. And
hoping you would say that.
we need more wisdom. So thank you so much for sharing your time with us.
Thank you so much. It's been an absolute privilege. It has been so much fun. I absolutely love this. And it's been wonderful connecting with you. Thank you for the work that you do in the world. Thank you for showing up as who you are, Amos. I follow you on LinkedIn as well. I recently started following you on Instagram as well. So I've been stalking you a little bit. And that's because, we must seek out our tribe, and you are definitely part of my tribe. And I'm very grateful for that as well. So thank you. This has been an honor, a privilege.
Thank you. If you want some amazing inspiration, check out the videos next to me, and I'll see you right there.